Hello screenwriters, we are back for another episode of Watch Me Write, where every week I write 5 pages for my first screenplay, then I discuss the previous 5 pages. This week we're going to talk about pages 81 through 85. We pick up again from last week where Detective Wallace and Kafella are at a diner having a conversation. This is a long scene, so in these new pages we pick up from that conversation. I have to say though, this is one of my favorite scenes that I've written. I really loved how it turned out, the back and forth between the two. It starts out very friendly, then it takes a turn. Detective Wallace knows Kafella is a huge baseball fan, so as a result, he tells Kafella a baseball story. Detective Wallace is a huge Yankees fan. He tells Kafella a particular story about Alex Rodriguez when he was with the Yankees. A-Rod was found to be using steroids, and Detective Wallace, he was so mad when he found out. He never forgave A-Rod about this. He tells Kafella that only if A-Rod had come forward and confessed that he used steroids, he would have forgave A-Rod. But ever since then, he's hated A-Rod. This is Detective Wallace's subtle way of telling Kafella that, look, if you know something about Damon's murder, you better confess and come forward now, because if I end up finding that you know something about Damon's murder by other means, there's going to be consequences. Kafella, however, though, being the baseball historian that he is, he tells Detective Wallace, though, however, A-Rod had to make a sacrifice for the team, and as a result, they won the World Series. If you recall, Chris was walking by when he saw Kafella and Detective Wallace having a conversation. In these new pages, Chris runs to Alonzo's house. He tells him that he saw Kafella having a casual conversation at a diner with a cop. All sorts of thoughts start coming to Alonzo's head because if you recall, Detective Andrew visited Alonzo, started asking Alonzo questions about him and Damon's relationship. Alonzo starts to put 2 and 2 together. He was wondering who was feeding the cops all this information about him and Damon. Now he thinks it's Kafella. So you see what's happening here, right? There's starting to be a rift between the relationship of the friends. We stay with Chris after the Alonzo conversation. We follow Chris home where we see his living situation. Chris lives in a cramped apartment where he has uncles, nephews, sisters, his mother living there. So he's walking into the apartment. He's trying to be quiet, not to wake anyone. He goes into a room, getting ready for bed. His mother walks in. She starts to ask him where he's been. It's kind of late. He lies. He tells her that he was at the basketball court shooting, practicing on his jump shot. Of course, we know that he was out selling drugs. He also tells her that he knows rent is way past due. He hands her a wad of cash. She's like wondering, where do you get all this money from? Again, he lies. He tells her that it's an advance for his basketball scholarship. We all know he doesn't have a basketball scholarship. All his mother hears is the word scholarship, and she gets excited and is very happy for her son. It's the same night Jamal and Kafella are coming home. They're getting ready for bed. Jamal is still a little tipsy from earlier. Just randomly, he tells Kafella that he needs to change the name of his business. If you recall, Kafella computer repair business is named after his mother. Jamal's not having it. Jamal blames Kafella for their mother dying. When Kafella's mother gave birth to him, it was a very complicated birth. As a result, she passed away and Kafella was born. Jamal never forgave Kafella for this. Jamal don't want to be reminded of his mother's death every time he sees Kafella's business. Kafella is hurt. Pops hears this. He comes in. Obviously, he scolds Jamal, and then he tries his best to comfort Kafella, but the damage is already done. After Jamal said what he said, he walks away. Pop stays in the room. He tries to comfort Kafella. He tells Kafella that it's not his fault that his mother passed away. He tells Kafella that his mother made the ultimate sacrifice. Sacrifice. It's an ongoing theme that I've been sprinkling throughout the story. There's a reason why I'm sprinkling this sacrifice theme throughout the story. You'll discover why later on as everything starts to connect. That is it for pages 81 through 85. Next up are pages 86 through 90. We are almost at Act 3, aka the resolution of the story. This is where we start to tie up all the loose ends. And we're going to discover who actually killed Damon pretty soon. I'm excited. I'm curious to know who you guys think did it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. If you think about writing your first screenplay, go to your favorite app store, download Stratword, fade out. Detective Wallace never forgave A-Rod for using